Good morning and welcome to the 2023 Ultra4 USA Best Dam Race of the Year, presented by Rugged Race Radios. We're on the backside of the Pensacola Dam at the South Grand Lake Recreational Area, just outside of Disney and Langley, Oklahoma. And this is going to be qualifying. We're about to kick off. We're going to start with the UTVs and then run through the classes. I am Miles Hasquist alongside my good friend Mrs. Pam Hall, and we are about to go live qualifying. So qualifying should be kicking off here very shortly. Everything is Central Time. So in about 3 minutes, we should start qualifying here very, very shortly. So kick off the 4900 UTV stock and open. And then it'll be the 4600 stock class, the 4500 48s, and then the 44s. So here's our schedule for the weekend. Here's tomorrow's. We'll kick off tomorrow with the youth at 9 a.m. and then the EMC class 45s and 48s at 11, and then at 2 p.m. is the 4400 Unlimited race. So lots of racing action going on all day long. Pam, this is going to be a great day.
Yes, it is, Miles. And look at that beautiful view right there. We have the water that they'll be going through, and we know out here last year at Legends of the Fall, a lot of people were having some issues splashing into the water, but it's going to be a great day of racing out here this weekend and tomorrow again. But it is such a beautiful area out here. You've been out all over race course helping out and everything, and you have a lot of experience out here for many years as well.
It's going to be a great day. But again, before we get everything started, we're going to throw it down to our one and only Alan Johnson with our invocation and the national anthem. Alan, take it away, buddy.
Please stand with me and remove your hats as we go before the Lord in prayer. Father God, we thank you so much for today. We come before you with hearts full of gratefulness, grateful that we could spend time with our friends doing things we love in such a beautiful place as Disney, Oklahoma. Lord, we ask for special blessing today for the safety of all the drivers and the crew and the staff and the spectators, that your hand be upon us, that you bless today. Lord, we thank you that we live in the greatest country in the world and we get to worship you openly. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please remain standing as we sing the greatest song in the world,
Jared,
our
check
national anthem.
on 4. Jared, do you hear me? Brandon, testing, talent 4. I hear you. I'm not going to do a live check until after the anthem, though.
Welcome back. We are here. That is the best song in the world. And we are getting ready to go live qualifying.
We are about to go live qualifying here any moment with the UTVs. It's the 4,500 class, the 4,900 class will be intermixed, the open, the stock, and the mod all together. And we are live qualifying with the 9004 of Byron Sterrett driving for John Seaman out of Jacksonville, Florida with Team 904 Racing and a Can-Am X3, CA Technology, Evolution Power Sports, Demon Power Sports, Raceline Wheels, Double E Racing, ZRP, and Rugged Race Radios. His first Ultra4 race was King of the Hammers this year. Great to see him and the Team 904 out here. So it's about a quarter-mile drag. We horseshoe right in the center of that screen, and now we're back on real race course. So we were just short coursing a little bit. It's about a quarter mile, a little bit of rock sections with a couple ledges. You jump down, you splash through the water. Here's another little water crossing. Through a little rock section here, hard left, and then we'll go through some flags. I'm going to guess 45 seconds is going to be the fastest time, Pam.
Well, it is going to be interesting to see this qualifying course, and there we do see them going through some water again on course here, and we do have next up off the line, as soon as we get this time, will be the 373 of Jonathan Hayes will be coming up in just a minute.
A local guy, Johnny B, with his buddy Chance Johnson riding shotgun out of Veneta, Oklahoma with Lucky 7 Racing in the Pro Modified class. In his Polaris Razor with Max Motorsports with his Ultra4 USA debut here in Disney Langley, Oklahoma.
And Byron Sterrett, he made his way through the timing loop at a 50.844.
All right, so Byron's a pretty quick dude, so that 52nd, my guess was 45. I'm going to be pretty close. We'll see if we can shave 5 seconds. Byron, that's a good move. He's out there early. He's going to get it going. But he hasn't seen all the other little tricks of the trade as some of these other guys and gals find a little, not saying shortcuts, but different lines through some of these sections. I stopped by Jeff Flanagan's shop just the other night, and that car didn't even have an engine in it. So it's pretty cool to see Johnny B and Jeff Flanagan thrash. Their whole team was over there and got it going. There's JT Taylor, our race director for Ultra4 USA. Getting ready to wave that green flag. 3, 2, 1. Johnny B is off the line. See what kind of time he can throw up. Byron Sterrett with that 50-second run.
And Miles, I'm so sorry I missed. How long roughly is this qualifying course?
Basically a quarter mile. So right here, they're going to take a right, and now they're going to veer off course. If during the race, you're going to go straight there, but here's a little shortcut, and now we're coming back on race course the opposite direction. So right now we're back on race course, and there's definitely some water splashes. We tried to mitigate as much water as we could, but we're in Disney Langley, Oklahoma at the GRDA land, so this is a live riverbed, so we can't close off all the water. So we did our best to get it going. The Grand River Dam Authority is the GRDA. It is public land down here in the Grand Lake recreational area. So it's a public place. We do have it locked down for this weekend's race for safety reasons. But you can come down here. It's an amazing place to go wheeling. Some of the best rock crawling in the Midwest.
And Miles, Jonathan Hayes just went through with a 49.10, but next off the line is the 904 of Mike Park.
Out of Callahan, Florida with Team 904 Racing in that Pro Modified class. And that CA Technology Can-Am, Double E Racing Shocks, Evo Power Sports, Demon Axles, Raceline Wheels, Maxxis Tires, Rugged, and ZRP. His first race with Ultra4 USA was King of the Hammers 2022. So Jonathan Hayes just gets that pole position by 1 full second for his Ultra4 USA debut. What a great run he's got. We'll see if Mike Park can bump him out. Again, we have 3 different UTV classes racing at the same time, or qualifying at the same time right now. And we have the stock production, the Pro Mod, and the Open.
All right, taking off the line is the number 24 of Cole Clark.
Out of Cortez, Colorado with ZRP Army in that Pro Modified class. He normally races an RS1, but that was a 2-seater it looked like, so he may have had to do a little swapping there. He's got the Slightly Heated podcast and ZRP. His first Ultra 4 race was King of the Hammers back in 2018. He's won in Moab. He's won in Reno, Oklahoma a couple times, and at the Stampede. So Cole Clark is definitely one to watch.
And Miles, let's talk about this for a minute. You had like a 40-second guesstimate on what the timing would be for the qualifying loop, and Mike Park threw down a 40.715.
I said 45, so they're already beating me. So these guys and gals, Mike Park sitting in that pole position right now with an amazing run. Well, Cole Clark just throws down a 45 seconds, so Mike Park has still got it with 40 seconds.
And what a great run he had. Cole Clark in that number 2 position with a 45.081, so you were right on the money with that for him. But next up will be the 817 going off the line here in just a moment, and that is Brian Hamby.
Brian Hamby and his wife riding shotgun out of Winchester, Tennessee with 817 Racing in his Polaris System 3 Extreme Razor Performance Sandcraft, Revelation Fab, G-Force Racing, Trinity, RCV, HCR, Rugged Race Radios, Adventure Off-Road. His first Ultra 4 race was back in Moab in 2022.
And Miles, I have to go back here for just a moment, but because we do have Anthony out on the race course. We missed him taking off the line, but he is going through that water crossing here, and he came through actually with a 43.476, so we missed him taking the green flag.
Lots of action going out there, so be sure to tune in. Don't forget, you can also go to live.ultra4racing.com for the same timing we have here in the booth. Great shot of Brian Hamby. And look, getting a little sideways. These rocks are extremely hard, but they're wet, and they're just these cars are going to keep dragging water on here. So it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out.
Yes, and Tony Polari in the number 428 just took the green flag.
Out of Greenup, Kentucky with Bad Batch Racing in the Pro Modified class in the CA Technology Can-Am X3, OBOR Tires, RCV, Bullet Wheels, BP Pipeline, Landview Management, Strickland Logging, KWI, Dentworks Collision. His first race was in 2021 in Rush, Kentucky. And he wants to give a good shout out to his buddy Jay Shaw. So Polari out there.
Yes, and now we do have the 778 of Jason Tidwell taking the green flag.
With his brother Levi Tidwell riding shotgun out of Gravette, Arkansas with PST Racing in the stock class with his Can-Am, Fox, BFG, and PRP.
And Tony Polari is sitting in that number 5 spot right now in his UTV Pro Mod with a 48.095.
This is our Western Series Championship, so we will be crowning the West Series Championship tomorrow evening.
What do I need to do? Grab the next guy and
And taking the green flag just now is the 188 of Terry Madden.
With his son Dalton Madden riding shotgun out of Yucca Valley, California, an MAO ambassador with Terry Madden Racing, and his Can-Am with Nitto Tires, Vision, Pit Viper, Mile Marker, Rockford Fosgate, Casey Highlights, Rugged, 360 Wrap, Ultimix Belts, Pro Eagle, Power Tank, RCV, Fluid Logic, Mag Block, Icy Tech, Desert Squadron, PRP, Impact, and Cruise Armor. His first Ultra 4 race was before Ultra 4, King of the Hammers 2009. And I do see a little puff of smoke in the back section.
And that was Terry Madden out there.
But he's still going.
I think what happened, he must have hit some of that water, but taking the green flag just now is Josh Smith in that number 1948.
With Corey Nasso riding shotgun out of Castle Rock, Colorado with Smith Brother Racing in the open class with his Can-Am, built by ZRP and KT Performance, Liquimolly, ZRP, Infinity Fab, Warren, Factor 55, Maxxis, KMC, RCV, and Rigid. His first Ultra 4 race was King of the Hammers 2018 with multiple wins in Montana. At the Nationals, at the Stampede, he's won a couple championships. Josh Smith is definitely one to watch. What a great qualifying we're having, Pam.
Definitely. Mike Park is still holding that number 1 spot at a 40.715. We do have the number 20 of Travis Zollinger taking the green flag.
So Travis Zollinger is actually racing in 2 classes. Was that his single seat? Was that his open car? Couldn't quite tell. But out of Logan, Utah with Zollinger Racing Products in that Can-Am. Zollinger Racing Products, FK Rod Ends, Fox, K&T Performance, BFG, Logan Coach, Warren, Sparco, Hyperco, BC Performance, and Weddle Industries. So he's running in the Pro Mod and the Open class.
Correct, and they do have a transponder.
Okay, this is his Open class.
Yes, they have a transponder for each car, so a lot of racers are racing in multiple classes, so they do have transponders for each. This is his Open car.
Thank you, Pam, for
You're
that update.
welcome. And there's a 212 of Jason Susie taking the green flag.
See where we were? No? Okay. It's right there. Fastest man sticking out of the woods.
So Mike Clark
Jason
sitting in
Susie
that.
with ZRP Racing out there on course. Remember, this is a quarter-mile qualifier, doing a little splashing through the river bed, then through the rocks. And it is Mike Park with that 40-second run thus far that's holding this together.
Yes, and Mike Park is over here watching the rest of the qualifying, making sure his time stays on top there. And now we do have the number 700 of Peyton Dumford taking the green flag.
She's got her dad, Jarrell Dumford, riding shotgun, the Dirt Princess 7 herself, out of Hamilton, Ohio, with Bandit Off-Road and Dumford Racing in that Open class. In her Polaris with Bandit Off-Road Racing, MRT, Ultimax Belts, HCR, G-Force, Off-Road Vixens, AJK Off-Road, Extreme Muddin, Gear Grabber, Off-Road Lifestyle, Keller Performance, JB Scale Graphics. Her first Ultra4 race was Rush, Kentucky 2022. Great to see her and her dad out there bonding at their finest.
Yes, it's awesome to see that father-daughter team. She's been racing all year long, and it's awesome to see her out here in Disney, Oklahoma. We do have the 106 of Steven Rogers taking the green flag.
So Steven Rogers out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, with Rogers Motorsports in that Polaris Pro XP with MRT tires, Extreme Razor Performance, RNS Tile, Stevens Auto Spa. His first Ultra4 race was this year at Rush, Kentucky. He used to do some rock bouncing, but now he's racing with us here at Ultra4 USA, and we are qualifying for the best damn race of the year, presented by Rugged Race Radios. We're on the backside of the Pensacola Dam in the South Grand Lake recreational area, and we are qualifying.
Yes, we are, and that is the 304 taking the green flag.
That is Gavin Smith with Hunter Gillespie riding shotgun out of South Point, Ohio, with AR Racing in his Can-Am with RCV, CA Technologies, MRT, Fuel Wheels, and Fox. His first Ultra4 USA race was this year in Pennsylvania. Doing a little splash on this quarter-mile qualifier, quick and easy little horseshoe. Remember, go to live.ultra4racing.com for the live timing. As you can see, Mike Park sitting in that pole position, possibly getting those 7 important points as we go into this Western Championship.
Yes, and now we do have the 490 of Peyton Isabel taking the green flag.
With Ricky Wood riding shotgun out of Jinx, Oklahoma, with Godfrey Fabworks in his Can-Am with Godfrey Fabworks Raceline wheels and Rugged Race Radios. His first Ultra4 USA race was King of the Hammers of this year. If you are just tuning in, we thoroughly appreciate each and every one of you.
Yes, we have quite the lineup that is still out waiting to do their qualifying loops. So we have a lot of heavy hitters out here this weekend. A lot of racers that we had a race last weekend at Mid-America Outdoors for side-by-side. A lot of them have been still here since last week, and now they're racing out here at Disney.
It's awesome to see. Yeah, just right at 107 entries to this race, as we just saw Mark McCleary and Jason Roper take off out of Reddick, Florida, with Turned Up Racing in that Can-Am, Dirt Monkey Performance, PATV Performance, Wasted Money Fab, Raceline Wheels, MRT, Demon Axles, and G-Force. His first Ultra4 USA race was Visions of this year.
And going through these water crossings, they're trying to get the best time that they can, but it's definitely something you want to make sure you're slowing up for. Getting the water in the electronics is never a good thing. But next up on the line will be the 4916 of Rich Birch.
This afternoon's race will be a 5-mile lap out here. Everybody will race an hour and a half plus 1 lap, except for the 44s will race 2 hours plus a lap.
And yes, Rich Birch, the 4916, taking the green flag.
Out of Castle Rock, Colorado, with Genesis Motorsports in the stock class with his Polaris Pro XP, Maxxis tires, KMC wheels, HMF, Hypoxic, High Country 4x4, ZRP, HCR, and Super ATV. His first Ultra4 USA race was King of the Hammers 2022.
And it's amazing to see these guys going through this race course. You know, we do qualifying loops. You know, we want it to be a little bit harder, you know, whatever. But here they are going through the water crossings. And like you guys did, like you were saying, you guys made it where it wasn't so muddy or so watery. But we do have the 600 of Jacob Shade taking the green flag.
With Brandon Randall riding shotgun out of Cheyenne, Wyoming with Squad Racing. And a Can-Am with SD Lighting, Black Ops Machine, S3 Power Sports, Turner Cycles, Sandcraft, DP Brakes, and Rugged Race Radios. His first Ultra4 USA race was Montana of this year. And let's go back to talking about qualifying. We actually have started to make qualifying a little bit easier because we have so many racers. We have to split up the class a little bit. So now the UTVs are actually racing today. So we want them to go out there and qualify, but be able to still race their same car today. So we didn't want to take them out there and destroy their car just in qualifying.
Correct. We do have Corey Willis taking the green flag, the 1793.
Out of Lake Charles, Louisiana with PPEI Racing in his Can-Am with JW Performance, HP Tuners, Jason Dooch Trailers, EE Racing, and Raceline Wheels. His first Ultra4 USA race was King of the Hammers of 2023.
And speaking of crossover drivers that do short course and our Ultra4 USA Racing, he is one of them as well. So lots of seat time for these guys. It's definitely key as well,
and
getting seat time.
And he's only 27 points behind Robert Parker and Kyle Cheney for the Western Series Championship. So he's got a lot to prove.
Yes, and that is the number 40 of Jeremy Blackburn taking the green flag.
Out of Pikeville, Kentucky with Bandit Off-Road Racing in that stock class with that Polaris RS1. Jesus Christ. Bandit Off-Road, Elka Suspension, Team Alba, Power Sports Nation, Cripple Creek Off-Road, and Off-Road Beast. He got first at Rush and AOP in 2022 and was the 2022 Eastern Championship winner.
All right, Miles, let's do a little recap here while we're waiting for Cody Quattlebaum to take that green flag. We have Mike Park sitting in that number 1 spot. Gavin Smith has taken over the number 2 spot. Peyton Isabel in 3rd, Anthony Yount 4th, and Marcus Clary in that 5th position.
Remember, there are 3 different classes going off all at once. And now this is the number 33 of Cody Quattlebaum, the Q-Bomb himself, out of Loganville, Georgia, with Bandit Off-Road Racing in the open class with that beautiful built Cass Lake Metal RS1 Razor. Warren, Brannick, MRT, Rugged, Ogio, Trinity, Aftermarket Assassins, Dalton Industries, Elka, EE Racing, Kryptonite, and HCR. His first Ultra4 USA race was Rush, Kentucky, 2021.
All right, I believe that was the 441 of Robert Liebel taking the green flag.
You are absolutely correct. Robert Liebel, number 441 out of Quinton, Texas, with Liebel Racing in the open class in his Can-Am, Rigid Excavation, Dallas Karting Complex, DFW ATV, Scott's Custom Cabinets, CT Raceworks, UTV Race Shop, EE Racing, Skinny Pedal Works, and he was a King of the Hammers rookie of this year.
All right, and there is the 900 of Kyle Cheney driving for Robert Parker, taking the green flag.
He is in the Pro Modified class.
And look at that splash. He is splashing his way through this qualifying course.
So the 900 of Kyle Cheney driving for Robert Parker out of Miller Sports, Ohio, with Team Momentum Racing in his Can-Am, Yokohama, Team Momentum, Evo Power Sports, CT Raceworks, Raceline Wheels, Action Off-Road, and Fox.
All right, and Tyler Rimreed in the number 143. He is out here. He just took the green flag. He is debuting his brand new Can-Am.
He is an MAO ambassador out of Bennington, Nebraska with TR Racing in his, like you said, he just got this Can-Am put together with Maxxis Tires, TR Construction, Ultra4 USA, and Mackey Construction. His first Ultra4 USA race was Crandon 2021. There's a good story behind that one, too.
And Miles, we do have a new leader right now, the number 900 of Kyle Cheney, driving for Robert Parker with a 38.387.
Wow, the ghost of Kyle Cheney checks out once again with a 38-second run. That guy is amazing behind the wheel. And he is our Western Series points leader for the Pro Modified class. So if he can stick that gives him 7 extra points over Corey Willis. So that's a huge benefit if he can get those 7 extra points for getting a pole position for qualifying.
Yes, and the 5.21 of Nathan Seiler is who we are looking at right now, going over some pretty good bumps back there on our qualifying course.
Nathan Tater Seiler with Brent Moffitt riding shotgun out of Kyoto, Oklahoma with Tater Sack Racing in his Can-Am with TW Trucks and Equipment, Raceline Wheels, Rockin' S Field Service. Come get you some off-road. Buchanan Tire and Lube. His first Ultra4 USA race was Rush, Kentucky of this year.
Next up, taking that green flag, is the 926 of Tyler Gibbs.
He took a tumble during a pre-running yesterday, so glad to see he's okay and I think he's in his backup car actually, but he's out of Cattlesburg, Kentucky with Gibbs Racing in the open class with his Can-Am, MRT, Method Race Wheels, Fox, and G-Force. His first Ultra4 USA race was AOP 2022.
We have some amazing times going on here. You had a 45 seconds, what you were guesstimating, and Robert Liebel actually has taken over the number 2 spot overall. But we do have right now the 111. It is John Seaman, driver of record. Byron Sterrett is actually driving for him.
So Byron Sterrett is actually doing double duty. He's racing in the open class in the stock class, and then hopping in John Seaman's car and racing Pro Modified. So Byron Sterrett's got a busy day. That's great seat time. So John Seaman out of Marion, North Carolina with Jason Watt Performance in the Pro Modified class. In his Can-Am, CT Raceworks, KWI Clutching, and Yokohama. His first Ultra4 USA race was Visions 2022. And you can have 1 substitute driver per season. So John Seaman is using it here for the best damn race of the year, presented by Rugged Race Radios.
And that is the number 45 of Rodney Van Eperen taking the green flag.
Out of Freedom, Wisconsin with Van Eperen Racing in the stock class with Yamaha Racing, Power Sports 1, Weller Racing, Yamalube, GYTR, and GBC Tires. His first Ultra4 USA race was King of the Hammers of this year. Robert Parker and Kyle Cheney are sitting in that pole position with a 38.387. Don't forget to go to live.ultra4racing.com for our live timing. It's starting to heat up a little bit, Pam. It's going to be 85 plus degrees. The sun is shining. It's going to be a beautiful day. There is no entry fee, so if you want, it's no spectator fee.
Right.
If you want to come out here and spectate, we're not too far from Tulsa. We're in Disney, Oklahoma. It's going to be a great day, a great weekend of racing, so be sure to come out now and check it out.
Yes, and there is the son of Rodney Van Eperen, Owen Van Eperen, the number 5, taking the green flag.
O-Show himself out of Freedom, Wisconsin with Van Eperen Racing in the stock class with Yamaha Racing, Power Sports 1, Weller Racing, Yamalube, GYTR, and GBC Tires. Great to see the Yamaha back machines out there running with Rodney and Owen Van Eperen racing each other, father-son. Out there qualifying.
Yes, and Owen is just 17 years old. And last week we were all in Oklahoma, or in Jay, with the Mid-America Outdoors, and he was sitting there having to do his homework between races, and he's definitely one that's getting a lot of seat time as well.
It's great to see. Yeah, they do the short course. They do a little bit of everything.
And that is Kurt Mackey in the number 64 taking the green flag.
Kurt the Rocket Mackey out of Omaha, Nebraska with TR Racing. In his Polaris RS1 with Concrete Supply Mackey Construction, TR Racing. His first Ultra4 USA was this year in Rush, Kentucky. Great to see them team up with the Rim Reeds. Out here having some fun.
The backstretch of this qualifying course is pretty awesome to watch, going through the water. As we keep saying, we do have on the line, though, next up will be the number 24 of Cole Clark.
So Cole Clark, I called him earlier. He is in his other car for the open class. So now he's in his Pro Mod car. He was in his Pro Mod car. Now he's in the open car in an RMS-built custom Polaris RS1 Turbo Razor with slightly heated podcast and ZRP. Out of Cortez, Colorado is ZRP Army. So Cole Clark doing another double duty. Remember, we are racing the stock and the open class together, and then we'll race the pro mods all by themselves.
So lots of seat time out here. It's a great way to pre-run too, running in multiple classes. We do have the 211 of Ian Dickey taking the green flag.
With his wife Katie riding shotgun out of Norfolk, Nebraska, with Ian Dickey racing in the open class with his Polaris Pro R. Power Sports Nation, All Balls, Sedona Wheel and Tire, PPEI, RPM, Octane Wraps, Rugged, Tier Lights, and Nightcrawler Customs. His first Ultra4 USA race was in Rush, Kentucky, and he got first place in Visions this year in the open class. So Ian Dickey's had a fun season.
Yes, he has.
Lots of success. I was talking to him during pre-run. He was saying this course is tough, and boy, is he right. But that is what Ultra4 is all about.
Exactly. Now
Testing man and machine.
We do now have the 95 of Todd Brindley taking the green flag.
That's Turbo Todd Rimreed out of Bennington, Nebraska, with TR Racing in the Pro Modified class in his Polaris RS1. TR Racing, Mackey Construction, and having some fun out there. His first Ultra4 USA race was Crandon 2021. He got second place at the 918 race last year at MAO and first place in Crandon in 2022.
And that's such a beautiful view right there. Our drone getting good shots of our course. And there's Todd getting ready to splash through some water almost up here to the finish line of our qualifying loop.
It's roughly a quarter-mile qualifying horseshoe, I'm going to call it.
And there we do have the 1018 of Mr. Paul Wolf taking the green flag.
And he's playing triple duty. He's racing both UTV classes and the 4400 race. So our MAO ambassador, Mr. Paul Wolf, the 1018 out of Alton, Illinois, with Wolf Racing. And his Can-Am with Nitto Tires, Raceline Wheels, RCV, Alltech Motorsports, HCR, Halo Lockers, Evolution Power Sports, CA Technologies, and ZRP. He's gotten third at King of the Hammers. He's got first in Rush, Vision Sturgis. This guy has swept the UTV last season. We'll see if he can give Robert Parker and Kyle Cheney a run for their money.
And there we do have Adam Coots in the 3622 taking the green flag as Paul Wolf comes through and gets the checkered flag.
I missed that number, Pam.
3622 of Mr. Adam Coots.
Out of Perryville, Missouri, with Coots Racing in his Can-Am with RCV, Raceline Wheels, MRT Tires, Paul Wolf, and Hickman Motorsports. His first Ultra4 USA race was Rush, Kentucky of this year. He's another one that came from the rock mounting world and is out here racing with us.
A lot of drivers coming into the short course or the Ultra4 world. It's awesome to see. We do have the 113 of Aaron Lynch that just took the green flag.
Out of Powell, Tennessee, with his son Talon riding shotgun with Team Aaron Lynch in the stock class with his Can-Am, MRT, CT Raceworks, ZRP, Tire Spine, Lynchworks, MRT, and High Lifter Wheels. His first Ultra4 USA race was Rush, Kentucky 2021, and he got first place at Pennsylvania and Crandon of this year. So Aaron Lynch is one to watch for sure in the stock class.
And you can see right there when they come out of the water, he is having to take it just a little bit easy. There's a little bit of a kicker right there that is making them have a little bit of having to slow up.
There's a ledge back there, and I was going to guess it was going to kill some wheels and tires, but so far they're making it up pretty smooth. This place, remember this race last year, Pam, how many flat tires we actually had. But look,
we lost count. He's kind of going a little bit
slower.
slower.
He's off pace. So
Not
Aaron
sure what's
Lynch
going on.
Has an issue, but he'll get it sorted out, and he'll be racing later on today.
Okay, and then Travis Zollinger in the number 20 is up again. He's another one doing double duty. He is in his Pro Mod car now.
So Travis Zollinger in the Pro Modified class, number 20 out of Logan, Utah, with Zollinger Racing Products and that beautiful built single-seat Can-Am with Zollinger Racing Products, FK Rod Ends, Fox, K&T Performance, BFG Tires, Logan Coach, Warren, Sparco, Hyperco, BC Performance, and Weddle Industries. His first Ultra4 USA race was Nationals back in 2017. He was the Ultra4 Western Championship in 18 and 19, won the Nationals, and also this guy has won a little bit of everything with the Mint 400, the UTV Worlds, and he got first at Crandon this year.
Yes, he did. Pretty amazing. And we do have that is the 514 or 614, I'm sorry, of Mitchell Roccacelli.
With JT Strickland riding shotgun out of Beaver Dam, Virginia with ISG Racing in the stock class with his Can-Am with ISG, East Coast Earthworks, Maxed Out Performance, CA Technology, Tire Spine, and MRT. His first Ultra4 USA race was Russ, Kentucky of this year, and he wadded that car up pretty good in pre-running yesterday. He hit a rock that was just off pace. I was like, what happened? He's like, what happened? I was just chasing this guy down. We're running 25, not doing bad. He went to wipe his visor, twitched the wheel just a little bit, and clipped a huge rock and ripped the right front of the car off, and had to find some ball joints, some A-arms, but look at him. He got it going. He's out there on course and making it happen.
All right, that is the 395 of Cam Zollers taking the green flag.
Out of Canton, Ohio, with Cam Zollers Racing in the open class. In his Polaris with Cam's Motorsports, ZRP, Pro Art, Pineapple Pete's Restaurant and Bar, UTV Direct, Tire Spine, Raceline Wheels, Demon Power Sports, Cooper ATV, GBC, Boostain, BGE Enterprise, Trinity Fab, CT Raceworks, and CMI. This is the first Ultra4 USA race, was last year at Rush, Kentucky for old Cam. This young man is out here running strong. He's got his mom and dad out here chasing him around, and he is one to watch for sure.
All right, and taking the green flag now is the 150 of Parker.
Nathan the Phenom Parker with Ed Reevy riding shotgun. This young man is only 14 years old out of Dunn, North Carolina. With Team Momentum Racing in the stock class with his CT Raceworks Can-Am, Performance East, Wheel Pros, Dynojet, Deep Creek ATV, CT Raceworks, Pocket Chains Fab, Mr. RPM, Fuel Wheels, KMC Wheels, Air Dam Clutches, Super ATV, and STM Clutches. His first Ultra4 USA race was Rush, Kentucky of 2023. He won this year in Montana, and he is racing in memory of his dad, Mr. Robert Parker.
All right, Nathan Parker taking the checkered flag here. Next up off the line will be the 101 of Todd Beckett.
Todd Wreckett Beckett out of Pineville, Kentucky with Top Gun Fab in the Pro Modified class in his Can-Am with Nost, System 3, CA Technologies, MRT, Dirt Monkey Performance. His first Ultra4 USA race was the Titan Series back in 2019. He got second in AOP. He's got first at Visions this year. Todd's on a mission.
And Todd Beckett sitting there patiently waiting for the green flag to take his qualifying loop. We do have in our number one spot Kyle Cheney driving for Robert Parker at the 38.387. Travis Zollinger in that second position with a 38.705. Paul Wolf in third. Robert Liebel fourth. And Tyler Gibbs. That are overall qualifying. We do have 3 different classes racing, though.
And those classes are the Stock UTV, the Pro Mod, and the Open. Looks like there's JT Taylor, our Ultra4 USA race director, checking some things out. But before we get going, let's give a little bit of love to Raceline Wheels, Amsoil, and Can-Am. But here, it sounds like we do have our rugged replay coming up here in just a moment. As he comes around and hits it and just gets a little slideways, spins her around. That shows you how hard and how slick this track is becoming.
Yes, I mean, to come out to the water area, and there are a lot, it's mainly rocks out here. So, of course, you know, if you're on it too much when you come out of that water and your tires are a little bit slick, it's going to definitely make you spin out.
So we keep telling you there's 3 UTV classes. The stock class is you have to have an OEM chassis, must run stock suspension points, reinforcing is allowed, must run front body and side plastics, 33-inch maximum tire, and a 1,000cc max engine.
And then in our Pro Modified class, you can have hydraulic steering and aftermarket turbos. Those are allowed. They are based on the OEM chassis, aftermarket chassis, and both sides are allowed as well. They must use the stock suspension points, though. They cannot change that. So the reinforcing is allowed. Must run front full plastics. They are a 1,000cc max engine, but their max tire size is a 35-inch.
And then the Open UTV is open. 2,000 max CC. Dream it, build it, and come and race it. That's kind of, we've adapted to include the Pro R out there racing. We saw Travis Zollinger in his earlier. That is a beautiful built machine.
And again, Todd Beckett in the 101 patiently waiting for that green flag to drop. But Miles, the sun is coming up. It's getting a little bit warmer outside. A lot of the drivers are it's out here watching on our Jumbotron that we have set up, looking at the qualifying loop. But again, we do have in that number one position at 38.387. You guesstimated about a 45-second
And they
timing.
shaved 7 seconds off. That's super impressive. That's why we clear the course. Let's give a huge shout out to Raceline Wheels, Amsoil, Good Boy Vodka, Can-Am, Rugged Race Radios, Project X Off-Road, Speed Sport,
LaserNet, Mid-America Outdoors, 360 Wraps, and Optima Batteries.
Spider Tracks, Brannick Motorsports, Yukon Gear and Axle, Wayland, Fun Haver Off-Road, King of the Hammers, American Outdoor Events, and the Off-Road Syndicate. So please support who supports the sport. Without all these amazing marketing partners, we would not be racing here today for the 2023 Ultra4 USA Best Damn Race of the Year, presented by Rugged Race Radios. We are on the backside of the Pensacola Dam at the South Grand Lake Recreational Area and Disney in Langley, Oklahoma.
And let's talk about the Pensacola Dam. It is the world's longest multiple arch dam in the world. It's pretty amazing. Grand Lake has approximately 1,300 miles of shoreline with 43,500 acres of water. I mean, that is amazing. And the Pensacola Dam is pretty awesome to see.
It's amazing. So there's Todd Beckett taking off for his qualifying run. Remember, this is about a quarter-mile little horseshoe, so he's on normal course now, but now he's going to take a hard right, and he is deviating course of race course right now. This is the qualifying course, and now we're jumping back on actual race course, and he'll take on down and see if he can beat out Kyle Cheney driving for Robert Parker of that 38.387. Kyle Cheney threw down an amazing, amazing run.
And Miles, let's talk about this. Sometimes they actually can go and they can practice the qualifying loop. Did you guys allow that this weekend?
Absolutely, yeah. They were able to run it the last couple days.
Awesome. And now we do have the number 926 of Tyler Gibbs taking the green flag.
That's the 926 of Tyler Gibbs out of Cattlesburg, Kentucky with Gibbs Racing. He's racing Pro Mod and Open this weekend. In that Can-Am with MRT, Method, Fox, and G-Force. His first Ultra4 USA race was AOP 2022.
And right here, he is coming out of the little area where we saw the spin out, and there's a lot of water that's getting thrown up from the tires on that little left-hand turn.
Yeah, getting a little slickery out there. So that just goes to show that if you qualified early, you had a little bit more traction, and that's part of strategy.
All right.
And we do have a pre-loop, so I assume that's kind of what happened there. He went over that pre-loop, and his transponder probably didn't ping, so he has to turn around, figure out what's going on, so we can get him a correct time for his qualifier.
And it looks like we're going to have roughly about 4 UTVs left to qualify, but next up we do have Matthew Walraven in the 118 who is pulling up to the green flag.
And we'll see his son Xander Walraven run tomorrow morning. We kick that off at 9 a.m. for the Ultra4 USA youth classes, so be sure to check us out tomorrow all day as well. At 9 a.m. we'll kick off the youth. We'll probably start streaming roughly about 8:50 tomorrow morning to start off tomorrow's racing. But off the line right now is Matt Walraven with Rhett Bryan riding shotgun out of Oak Ridge, North Carolina with JW Performance in the Pro Modified class, and his Can-Am with Builder's First Source, Transite Solutions, Mil-Spec Liners, CT Raceworks, Simpson, Stylo, PPEI, Murray Motorsports, JW Performance, Hess Motorsports, PRP, and we got a roll in the water. Thank you, Pam.
Pull you out of
So we'll
the
have
sponsors there. So Matthew
get
Walraven
him
on his side.
Righted. We'll get our safety crew over there, make sure everything's okay. So he went wide off that ledge, and there's a little ledge there. It hits that water, and it just tipped him right on over. So tough break for Walraven. So he is not going to finish his qualifier, so he'll have to start from the back of the pack. But let's talk about that. This race will be on adjusted time, so his time doesn't start until he leaves. So all that means is he'll have all the lap traffic to deal with, but he could still win this race coming from the back. So qualifying is important to have the clean air, to have the less lap traffic. But if you have a little tumble like that, take a deep breath. Make sure your car's good and come out hitting hard when you're ready to race.
Yeah, that is a tough break, though. And, you know, it's always a tough break when something happens, but in qualifying, when you're trying to set down a fast lap time. But we do have Mr. Paul Wolf, who has already been out once on our qualifying loop. He will be sitting there waiting to go again. And then he has a third time he'll be going out in his 4400 in just a little bit.
Paul Wolf is a machine. So let's thank some more people. Let's give a huge shout out to Speed Sport, our official broadcast partner. And don't forget, stay tuned for a 1-hour post-produced special that will be airing soon. We also need to give a huge shout out to Jason and Gayla Robinette, all the volunteers, the Ultra4 USA staff, the AOE crew, media safety, USAC racers, fans, and our marketing partners. We'll be giving away some Laser Nut 360 wrap trophies later on today and tomorrow, so thanks Cody Wagner for that. We have Angel, Carly, Bailey, Tristan, and the whole crew is up at the merch trailer. We have bands off and all weekend, but Matthew Walraven is on all fours backing up, so tough break for him. But, hey, he's A-OK. I think the car looks just fine. I know Jason Watt preps the heck out of that machine, so he'll take it back, do a little nut and bolt check, and get him back ready for his race.
100% on that. And, Miles, let's go over our qualifying times right now. We do have Kyle Cheney in the number 900 for Robert Parker, the 4900 Pro Mod class, sitting in the number 1 spot in the class and overall.
And remember, you get 7 points going towards the Western Series and the Nationals if you get that pole position for each class.
Yes, and then we have Travis Zollinger, who went out just a moment ago in the Pro Mod. He's sitting in that number 2 position overall and in class. And then we have Todd Beckett. He is sitting in that number 3 spot for our UTV Pro Mod. Then we have in the UTV Open class, we have Paul Wolf in that number 1 spot, Robert Liebel in that number 2 spot, and then Tyler Gibbs sitting in that number 3 spot.
So Walraven, he took a tumble. The car apparently is okay because he's back on the throttle.
Well, let's talk about that. So he got righted, he got back, and he was finishing the qualifying loop. So
I'll have to follow up on that.
Yes.
I'm not sure because he did get assistance. It was there is no outside assistance, but it was our own safety crew that helped him. So we'll have to wait for a final call on that.
We'll wait for
I
a
don't
final
know.
call on that for sure. But, I mean, if you think about it, too, you know, he got righted because we do have a few cars still have to qualify. So we do have Paul Wolf in the 1018 taking the green flag.
He is a Mid-America Outdoors ambassador out of Alton, Illinois with Wolf Racing and his Can-Am with Nitto Tires, Raceline Wheels, RCV, Alltech, HCR, Halo Lockers, Evolution Power Sports, CA Technologies, and ZRP. This guy's won a little bit of everything with the 4400 class and the UTVs. This is one to watch. Definitely a fan favorite.
And there he just came out of the little area that does a little bobble with the wet rocks.
So Paul Wolf runs a 39.086. No, that was his open run. It just updated. Paul Wolf just stole away from Kyle Cheney and Robert Parker. Paul Wolf just ran a 37.225, so shaved a full second off of Kyle Cheney's time. So he just stole those 7 points that Kyle Cheney and Robert Parker were really, really wanting. We just missed taking off the line Cody Willenborg, number 529 out of Effingham, Illinois, with CW Motorsports in that stock class with his Polaris AMS High Lifter Raceline CW Performance, CNR, All Balls, and PPEI. His first Ultra4 USA race was King of the Hammers 2022. But just think about that, Pam. Paul Wolf just shaved off a full second over Kyle Cheney.
Yes, and I mean, everybody talks about how he's a machine out there. I mean, he races 3 different classes. The seat time is definitely key out there. And we do have Paul Wolf sitting in that number 1 spot, as you said, in that Pro Mod class, but he's also sitting in the number 1 spot for the UTV Open class as well.
That's pretty impressive, that's for sure. Paul Wolf will be racing 3 races this weekend. He's got a full plate, that is for sure. Up next will be the 4600 Spider Track stock class. We're going to shift some gears, switch classes, but lots of more qualifying yet to come. And look at the lineup we have of these cars. I absolutely love the 4600 Spider Track stock class. And while we're talking about that, what is a stock class car? You have to have a stock OEM frame. Wheelbase must stay within 3 inches. Factory engine must be replaced with any available engine in the same year, make, and model. Factory transmission. 35-inch DOT tires. What's a DOT tire? That's the same tire you can run on your truck that has to run down the highway. So you have to have a single 2.5-inch shock per corner, limited to 14 inches of travel, factory-style suspension like leaf springs, coil springs, TTB, or whatnot. Mechanical steering, and this is grassroots at its finest. But this race course is absolutely beautiful out here.
It's so much different terrain. I mean, you have a lot of the rocks. You have the water. You have the rock bouncer hills that people can go up. It's so much different out here than anywhere else that we race.
So off the line first is Scott Farley. And Diamond Dave riding shotgun out of Irving, Texas, with Lone Star Racing in his 1990 Cherokee with a stock 4-liter, Rubicon T-case, Curry axles, King shocks, Maxxis, Raceline wheels, Tribe 16, Rufus Racing, Texas Auto, PSC, Kunkel Fab, AA muffler, and CK Customs. Part of Rufus Racing. We had a fun little shindig at Mooney's last night, and Rufus was there in full effect. Had a lot of fun there.
And Miles, let's talk about what do you think their lap times will be for the 4600 class?
They're going to be over a minute. I'm going to guess probably about let's go with 1:11. It just has a good ring to it.
1:11.
Well, we got a few of these Broncos. They're quick.
Yes.
It's going to be right between 1 and a minute 10. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. That is the 431 of John Rance taking the green flag, speaking of Broncos.
With Too Slow Bronco, he calls himself, with Andrew Anderson riding shotgun out of Farmington, New Mexico with Team Mudnut Racing. And that 2021 Ford Bronco with an EcoBoost 7-speed manual transmission. He's got an Atlas with 74 weld portals, Milestar tires, Rough Stuff Specialties, Ballistic Fab, Raceline wheels, Milestar tires, Brannick, Funhaver, and Ford Performance. He's been racing with his family for a very, very long time. Their first Ultra4 USA race was the EMC when it first got invented back in 2012 at King of the Hammers.
And Scott Farley, he came through with a 1:02.849.
So they're already shaving some time. That's a pretty good run.
Yes.
So we'll get a time for John Rance here shortly.
And that was the 46.53 of Tom Biddle taking the green flag. But really quick, John Rance went through with a 56.124.
That's a great run. They're already shaving some time off than I thought. So, yeah, they're doing great out there. So Tom Biddle and Joe Fabrizio, 46.53 out of Longmont, Colorado with Trail Rig Racing in a 1985 Toyota pickup with a 22RE. Dual transfer cases, rugged radios, Skies Off-Road Designs, ADS, I-Rate 4x4, Amsoil, Yukon, Raceline wheels, and Filthy Motorsports. His first Ultra4 USA race was King of the Hammers back in 2020.
All right, and sitting at the line will be the 25.67 of Lauren Healy. Backing up just a tick. Getting reset here, but we do have John Rance in that number 1 spot right now at a 56.124. Scott Farley in the number 2 spot at a 1:02.849. And we'll see here in just a moment what Tom Biddle comes through with.
And on camera now is Mr. Lauren Healy, a 2-time king at King of the Hammers. That'll be our first Ultra4 USA race next season. Now, if you're watching Ultra4 USA, I'm sure you've heard of King of the Hammers. The biggest one-day off-road race in the world. The biggest and baddest names in the sport are here to battle it out for the Western Series Championship. For the best damn race of the year, presented by Rugged Race Radios. In the South Grand Lake Recreational Area, just outside of Disney and Langley, Oklahoma. On the backside of the Pensacola Dam. This is a live riverbed. It's mainly dry, but obviously there are some water spots down here. We're going to jump in some woods later on today. We've got some iconic trails. We've got the waterfall. We've got Nosedive. We've got Little Blue. We've got lots of big obstacles. This is going to be a great 5-mile lap later on today and tomorrow.
So they are checking out the transponder. So that's what's going on. Is they have a little loop that they have to go through before they actually start.
A little pre-loop to make sure everything's working right.
That is Sarah over there making sure everything is all good. They did not get a read on it, so JT Taylor and all team over there stepped in to make sure it's all fixed.
And this is a little different. So here in Disney, the rock is solid rock in most places. So at the start line, it's a solid shelf. So it's an overhead loop there. But at the other side, on the beach run where the finish line is, it's buried underneath. So you have to mount your transponder upside down for qualifying and then right side up for the race. So maybe that could be a little miscommunication there, but a little different than normal. But, hey, we do what we can to make it happen. The Lifetime crew does an amazing job there at every race. They really, really do some great things. And you can go to their website at live.ultra4racing.com to have the same timing we have here in the Rugged booth.
All right, looks like they're getting ready to attach it. We'll be getting back underway here in just a minute. Now, Tom Biddle did not come through with an actual time yet, so we will see what he's going to come through with because he was out on course still.
And something new to the 2023 season, all registered racers will receive an Air Evac Live Team free of charge. So if we do have because racing's dangerous, we know that. That's why all the safety precautions are there. You have to have your helmet, your fire suit, your roll cage, but you put a helmet on, anything can happen. So if they do have a bad tumble, they will send a helicopter out here, we'll shut the race down, and get them safe and sound as quickly as possible. So that's something that the Robinettes have added to this season, and it's a huge weight off a lot of people's shoulders because, like we just said, racing's dangerous, but racing is what we love.
Yes, it's an addiction to some of us. I know that, you get into it not really – maybe into the racing as much, and then you start racing, and it's just a completely different ballgame for sure. But we do have Lauren Healy just now pulled up, and they are all set, getting ready to go, getting the countdown from Mr. J.T. Taylor.
So Lauren Healy, another Mid-America Outdoor ambassador with Jesse Amex riding shotgun out of Farmington, New Mexico with Fun Haver Off-Road Team. In that 2021 Ford Bronco called Bucky with an EcoBoost. Automatic transmission, Atlas, stock IFS with 74 weld portals. RCV, Ford Performance, Optima Batteries, RTR Vehicles, Nitto, Monster, Project X, Pennzoil, Fox, MBRP, Gear Wrench, NGK, K&N, Molly, Recaro, and VP Racing Fuels.
So Lauren splashed pretty good into the water right off the bat.
So it looks like Lauren Healy splashed a little too hard in that water, and now it's puffing, so he may have sucked a little bit of water. It's puffing pretty good. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to keep pushing. Hopefully he is. It looks like it's clearing up now. But that shows you really need to do your prep and make sure the air filter is in a good spot.
Well, and let's talk about that. Last year at Legends of the Fall, Lauren Healy did have some issues with water getting in and could not finish the race. But we do have just now taken the green flag, the 46.93 of Josh Atterbury.
With his buddy Brandon Bain riding shotgun out of Show Low, Arizona with Cracker Fab Motorsports. And that Ford Bronco, and it looks like Lauren Healy just gets in second place right behind John Rance. So it's Broncos 1-2, and out on course is the third one. We'll see how it all shakes out. So Atterbury with Dirty Life, Falcon, and looks at Atterbury takes it wide, smokes a rock.
He's off. There's a little bit of a ledge right there. You can see the water's a little bit deeper, so maybe he just got off of the course just slightly.
And that's what happened to Wall Raven. If you hit that and you slide a little too far, you fall off that ledge, and now he's trying to crawl up it.
Oh, he's got something wrong, or is he
no, there's just that ledge. So that's what happened to Healy also. So he slid off that ledge, and that's what splashed some water in there.
But Josh is back moving again.
So everybody that's watching this, I know they're watching the Jumbotron just like we are, and they're watching that. Take it a little easy on that corner, because if you blow that, you hit that deeper water. So it's getting slick out there.
Yes, it is. And right here is where, and you can see how hard that hit was on him, that little bit of a ledge that they come out of the water right there before they turn left. And that is also where we saw the spin out a little earlier on.
So Josh Atterbury with PSC, Falcon, Dirty Life, Baja Designs, Ballistic Fab, Midnight Metalworks, Willwood, 74 Weld, Yukon, Rome Adventures, ADS, Switch Pros, PRP, Rugged, Warren, Magnaflow, Adams Drive Shaft, RCV, and Factor 55.
All right, taking off the line is the 46.05 of Albert Contreras.
Another Mid-America Outdoors ambassador with Bruno Pinilios, riding shotgun out of Compton, California with Jeep Thrills Off-Road. He's in a Jeep LJ, factory engine, Atlas, King, Race Choice, Rigid, Raceline, Genrite, Factor 55, Warren, KP, Fab and Tune, Artec, PSC, PRP, Mickey Thompson, and Coyote Beadlocks. His first Ultra4 USA was back in 2023. He's the owner and operator of Jeep Thrills Off-Road. He was the Ultra4 national champion back in 2016. He was the 2018 Sportsman of the Year. Albert Contreras is a class act of what Ultra4 USA is all about.
And let's talk about his co-driver. His co-driver is new to the sport as well. I mean, he started co-driving for Sergio, but Sergio this weekend is actually co-driving in the Jeep for Jeep owner John Schaefer.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. But look, he comes to a complete stop. Not sure what happened. There's a little rock section there. So there's a pretty good little rock section right through there. So not sure if...
I think he has a right front flat possibly. So...
Yeah, so he smoked a tire with that one. Tough break.
There we are. Mick Henson just took the green flag, 46-19.
With Troy Digby riding shotgun out of Tahlequah, Oklahoma. With Rusty Nail Racing and that 1985 Toyota SR5 DAO racing engine, 22RE, Diamond Axle, Warren Factor 55, Yukon. This guy is a fan favorite for sure. I mean, there's nothing better than an old school Toyota. I mean, that's what grew up racing at King of the Hammers, grew up racing out here in Disney, Oklahoma. Those little 22REs can scream to the moon, and I'm not going to say they're the fastest ones out there, but they can get through almost anything. Last year we saw him bouncing through. The tailgate was flopping. Mick Henson's out here to have some fun.
Yeah, that tailgate does not like to stay latched, I should say. I can't remember what it is. I think he jokingly put a stick in it and said, oh, that should hold. A Cheeto. That's what it was, a Cheeto.
And some zip ties and some baling wire. You know, you never know. That truck right there didn't have a rear axle in it up to about a week ago. He finally got it put back together.
And he's now coming up that ledge that we were talking about where Albert Contreras just took it a little too hard. And
so there's actually, that's the rock section. The ledge is a little bit further back.
All right, and that is Doug Langford taking the green flag.
The highest,
46.99.
The highest horsepower machine out there with Rob Craven riding shotgun in the stock class, that is, out of Dayton, Ohio with Outlaw Off-Road. And that 2021 JL with a 392 Hemi with Outlaw Off-Road, Rock Crawler suspension, Next Venture Motorsports, Nitto Tire, Raceline Wheels, Baja Designs, Fox Racing, Warren, Factor 55, PRP, and Miller Motorsports. His first Ultra4 USA race was this year in Rush, Kentucky. So, Pam, where'd Mick just end up?
Mick is in the number 5 spot with a 121.810.
That's right where he wants to be. And in this evening's races, when the 4600 Spider Track stock class does take off, and they do have to hit the waterfall as a joker line. Mm-hmm. You can only hit it once. You must hit it once.
And that is a good waterfall. I walked up it the other day when we were out pre-running the course. It was pretty cool. But we do have now taken the green flag. That is Sergio Pinilios in the passenger seat with John Schaefer driving in his own Jeep with a 46. What is this number here again?
4688. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit because how funny is it? It's actually John's car that Sergio has kind of rented for the season. Well, Sergio is a little, he's got some issues, so he didn't want to drive. His shoulder hurts. So he's like, I'll call you can have one substitute driver per season. So he calls up the car owner. John Schaefer comes out of retirement and is driving his old race machine.
And how many times is this thing supposed to be retired now? 4 or
more
5?
than once, that's for sure. So Sergio out of Mount Dora, Florida with RPM Extreme and Warren Racing in that 2015 Jeep JK with stock drivetrain, RPM Extreme, Warren, Factor 55, BFG, Raceline Wheels, Rugged Race Radios, and Rock Crawler. And he is in the championship hunt here at Disney, Oklahoma. He got first at Visions this year, first at Pennsylvania, and he was the champion of the Eastern Series here at Ultra4 USA in 2023. Trying to finish strong for the Western Series.
All right, they just qualified in that number 5 spot with a 106.816. So in the number 1 spot, we did have John Rance. We're going to be switching gears here. We have one UTV that we saw earlier have an issue with their transponder. Looks like everything's all fixed. So Cameron Dickey will be taking the green flag here in just a moment.
Just got an update from the pit guys. It does look like Jeff Bachman was unable to qualify. They're still getting the car together, but they are going to get it back going and be racing later on today. Getting some chatter through my Rugged Race Radio.
Lots of people chiming in as well on our Facebook page. So thanks to everybody that's at home watching. Too bad y'all weren't here with us. It's a great track. So that was Cameron Dickey in the number 69 taking the green flag.
We've got a couple 69s out there running. I know that's Anthony Yount as well. But yeah, it is Cameron Dickey.
And Cameron Dickey is in that 4900 UTV Open class. Taking the back stretch, coming down to the finish line here in just a moment. And Cameron Dickey again is in that UTV Open class. He's taking that left-hand turn. That's where it's getting a little bit slippery. You're going to have to really be careful on that turn, especially when our higher horsepower vehicles get out there.
It's going to be interesting. Cameron Dickey out of Norfolk, Nebraska with CD Racing in that Kawasaki with a Craftworks Supercharger, Power Sports Nation, Brute Performance, Mickey Speed and Fab, and Sedona tires.
So he just came through 9th in his class of the UTV Open and 35th overall. So good job to him. We are now switching gears. We do have our 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class.
And what is a 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified car? You can have 2.5 shocks per corner, limited to 14 inches of travel. You have to have mechanical steering, a maximum of a 37-inch DOT tire. Has to be a front-mounted engine, but unlimited horsepower. So these are chassis cars. So what is chassis? It's basically a custom-built tube chassis. They're purpose-built machines. There's John Rance heading over the transponder loop. We should be starting qualifying for the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class here very soon.
And we do have 4 cars in this class this weekend. We will have, that is Sean Rance in the 4531 taking the green flag. You see him getting ready to splash through the first part of that water hole, and that was a great shot by our drone. Oh, and he took it a little bit too hard, and so he realized what he did and backed up before he got off that ledge.
Before he went off that ledge, that was a good catch there. So Sean with Chuck Richardson riding shotgun out of Aztec, New Mexico with Mud Nut Racing in that 1976 Ford Bronco Jesse Haynes chassis. Richard Performance 454 small block, ATI Turbo 400. Hero T-Case, Rough Stuff, Mega High Nines, Milestar, Raceline Wheels, RPM Automotive, RCV, and Super Winch.
And here Sean Ranch is on the backstretch getting ready to take that checkered flag for our qualifying loop this morning.
So they should be a little bit quicker than the stock classes, so we should be in that 50-second range, I'm going to guess, is a 55. Not
so
bad.
Good job, yes. And next up off the line is going to be the 4500 of Diesel Krentz.
With his buddy Eric Spin riding shotgun out of Henderson, Carolina with Team Stacked. And that Team Stacked built 2012 Jeep JK with a 360 Magnum V8, automatic transmission, Atlas, Curry, Rockcrawler, Bilstein, Nitto, Dirty Life Race Wheels, Adams Drive Shaft, Stacked Off-Road, Light Bright Nation, and Red 5. His first Ultra4 USA race was at AOP back in 2021. He used to race Roundy Round. Had a dirt bike race, a dirt bike crash a while back, so he's back here racing Ultra4. Took about a 15-year break. Great to see him back behind the wheel of this race car.
All right, Diesel sitting there patiently waiting for his green flag to drop.
If you are just tuning in, we thoroughly appreciate each and every one of you. This is the 2023 Ultra4 USA Best Damn Race of the Year, presented by Rugged Race Radios. We're at the South Grand Lake Recreational Area just outside of Disney and Langley, Oklahoma, on the backside of the Pensacola Dam. I've been coming out here wheeling for over 20 years, so it's so cool to actually have an Ultra4 race at my old stomping grounds. I'm just about 3 hours away just south of Kansas City out of Paola, Kansas, and we used to make that 3-hour trek, come here, wheel all weekend, head home Sunday, and be back to work. I got a lot of great memories here. And
Yeah,
great to show you guys and gals back home what Disney Oklahoma and Ultra4 USA can have for you.
I mean, and not only
And
racing
look
out here,
at this, Pam. Look at that
That's
beautiful.
a great shot right there of the Pensacola Dam.
And right in the center of the screen is where our start-finish line is. At the top is the Grand Lake, obviously with the Pensacola Dam, and just a great aerial shot. At the bottom of our screen is where some woods are. We'll show you that later on today during our races.
And right there, the overhead view of this, to me, I'm not sure, because it's kind of been, yes, there's more water than there was at Legends of the Fall. No, there's not more water. Like right here, you can see all the water, and they're going through all of that. But it's beautiful, though. Let's talk about that again. We did mention it earlier, so the people that have not been on with us the whole time, that is the world's longest multiple arch dam. And it is pretty cool to see from afar like this up above. And driving across that dam, it
skinny.
is so skinny, exactly. And when you're crossing through, I was actually driving down it, and Owen Van Eperen and Rodney Van Eperen, they have, a semi, a Yamaha semi, and we're passing through, and like we looked at each other like, oh my goodness, this is so close together. But it's a great view, driving over that. But longest arch dam ever built in the world is pretty cool. And
I'd like to take a tour of that one at some point.
They actually do have tours of
Correct.
it. So there we do have, though, Diesel Krentz taking the green flag.
Out of Henderson, Carolina, with Team Stacked. This is the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class. They will be racing with the 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class. They're obviously qualifying within class, but during the race they'll be intermixed, and their starting order is how they qualify. So we'll have two races going on at the same time later on today. Actually, they will be racing tomorrow. Today it's the two UTV classes and then the 4600 Spider Track stock class. Then tomorrow morning we kick off with the youth. Then we go to the EMC classes we're watching now, and then the 4400s kick off tomorrow at 2 p.m.
And taking the green flag just now is the 4561 of Cody St. Clair.
The Texas Kid with John Williams out of Rufus riding shotgun out of Ponder, Texas with SCR Motorsports and that Tribe 16 chassis. Thompson LS 408 stroker, Turbo 400, Atlas, Raceline wheels, Cooper tires, Torco oils, full throttle batteries, Dave's Off-Road, Factor 55, Warren Brannick, Dave's Off-Road, and Custom Splice. His first Ultra4 USA race was back in 2015. And he got first at Visions this year. He was the Eastern Championship this year. Cody St. Clair's got a great season going.
Yes, he does. But let's talk about this for a minute. 4500 of Diesel Krentz has taken over the number one spot at a 50.009. And taking off the line is the 26 of Dwayne Garrettson.
The Ricky Bobby of Ultra4 Racing with Jeremy Tipton riding shotgun out of Fort Smith, Arkansas with Come Get You Some Off-Road. He's in a Jimmy's 4x4 Bronco, Limitless Performance LS 6-liter, Turbo 400, Atlas, Yukon Gear and Axle, Yokohama, Raceline, PRP, Tom Woods Custom Drive Shaft, Warren Custom Splice, Brannick Motorsports, Limitless Performance, CDL Academy, and Come Get You Some. Dwayne Garrettson has been racing with us for a very long time. Great to see him out there pushing still.
Yes, he has a great run going for him, but we'll see if it's going to make any faster than Diesel Krentz in that number one spot at a 50.009. Cody St. Clair came through with a 151, and Dwayne Garrettson just took over the lead at a 44.003.
So 6 seconds over Diesel Krentz. Dwayne Garrettson just threw down one heck of a race.
All right, so our starting grid will be Dwayne Garrettson in that number one spot, Diesel Krentz second, Cody St. Clair third, and Sean Rance in that fourth spot.
Now we're going to switch up to the 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class. And what is that? You have to have a front or rear mounted engine, but unlimited horsepower. Vehicle must contain 2 seats side by side, single shock per corner, maximum of a 37-inch DOT tire, solid axles only. There's a lot of new specific cars built, but this is a great spot to retire a 4400 car. Take it down to a 37-inch DOT tire and a single shock per corner. That's about the only thing that switches up between a Legends and a 4400. And we keep talking about tires. What is a DOT tire? Department of Transportation. It is legal on the highways on the road. It is not a sticky race tire. So it's the same tires you put on your Jeep, your tow rigs, whatever you want.
Yes, and that's a great drone footage going down our lineup. It's great to see all the cars sitting there waiting. But you can tell they've all been out pre-running them, though, because they have a little bit of water and mud on them from yesterday.
Yeah, they pre-ran all day yesterday. We were kind of all over the course checking things out. If you were paying attention to social media, there was a cool jump on the backside. That jump started falling apart. We did have to smooth that out because the landing got kind of ate out, and we'd have to dress it all day, and there's just not enough time. So we did have to smooth that jump out because at the landing, if you were to tumble, there's some deep water on the left. So for safety reasons, we did have to take out that jump. But if you remember from last year, that is a skim location. So if you hit that at 60, 80 miles an hour, you can probably just skip right on across it, do a little hydroplaning. There we go.
All right, we do have that's going to take off first off the line, the 918 of Brian Moore.
Looks like JT Taylor, our Ultra4 USA race director, is giving him the green flag. So Brian Crash Moore with Trent Grab riding shotgun out of Tulsa, Oklahoma with Moore Racing. He's in a Blue Torch Fab chassis, LS 5.3, Maxxis tires, Vision wheels, and he would not be racing without ORI and the Jensen brothers. His first Ultra4 USA race was Crandon of last year, and he was a King of the Hammers rookie of 2023.
And you can see they're kind of checking up a little bit more because they've been watching the Jumbotron over here. They know that if they go a little too wide, it's not going to be good for them. And he did, too, a little bit of a bicycle just now, it looked like.
Yeah, the traction's kind of falling apart on that back corner, so it's going to be really interesting when we throw out the extremely high horsepower cars coming up.
It is going to be very interesting to see all the high horsepower. We do have the 717 taking the green flag of Ryan Webb.
Ryan Rollover Webb out of Bossier City, Louisiana with Kryptonite Racing in a Jimmy's chassis. A Cuts LS6 with 680 horsepower, maximum turbo 400, SCST case, Raceline wheels, Kenda tires, Liquimoly, D-Bomb EFI tuning, Warren JE Reel, Pro Eagle, 7.5 Media, TCGR Construction, Gill Industries, Diddy's Big Block, and Pro Eagle Jack. His first Ultra4 USA race was back in 2017. We'll see how hard he can put it. Looks like Brian Moore does catch a left front flat tire, but does get a 55-second.
All righty, Ryan Webb in that number 1 spot at a 49.043. Brian Moore in that number 2 spot at a 55.574. And the 551 of Tom Van Schiek is out on track. And you can see him going through those water crossings. It's pretty cool to see. I mean, it makes for great photos out here at Disney, Oklahoma for our racers. But going through the water fast, as we know, is not always so friendly on the race vehicles.
So Tom Van Schiek making his Ultra4 USA debut out of Ontario, Canada with Van Schiek Racing in a TMR chassis, LS 6-liter, Turbo 400, Atlas, D3 Fabrication, Motive Media, and A Media. Making his Ultra4 USA rookie debut.
He'll be getting a time here in just a minute. Actually, a 1:03.210. And next off the line will be the number 73 of Greg Neff. Looks like they're doing another transponder change here.
And if you are just joining us, we thoroughly appreciate each and every one of you. This is the 2023 Best Damn Race of the Year, presented by Rugged Race Radios. Everything keeps running pretty smooth today, thanks to all of our staff members. We got a great crew here with Ultra4 USA and the AOE team. Gus Fisher and his entire team. Huge shout out to those boys. You know, Weaver and Caleb been out there running around. German, Martin, Pee Wee.
The whole crew.
The entire crew is out here making things happen.
It's definitely a small army of people out here, and it's an amazing army of people. So Greg Neff getting that green flag, taken off.
With Eric Risco riding shotgun out of Broomfield, Colorado with Neff Motorsports. And a Neff Motorsports chassis with an LS3 with 525 horsepower. 6L80 transmission. Hero T-Case, Sherpa equipment. Kenda tires, Raceline, Rough Stuff, Warren, Factor 55, Yukon, and Coyote Enterprises. He started co-driving back in with Ultra4 USA back in 2013 with Dustin Eisenhower, but made his debut of driving in 2016. He's a mechanical engineer by trade, but out here playing race car today.
Playing race car is definitely fun. All right, we'll see. He's going to be crossing through that loop here in just a moment. He had a very good run going for him, but we'll see if he can beat. Oh, he did. He just took over the lead from Ryan Webb at a 48.415.
By just over a half a second, Greg Neff with a smoking run.
Yes, that was a great run by him, and now off the line is a 680 of Colin Hornick.
With his buddy Austin riding shotgun out of Sugar Land, Texas with UC Motorsports and another Jimmy's chassis. Ford horsepower, Turbo 400, Atlas, Bronco, BFG, Raceline, and King. His first Ultra4 USA race was Visions last year. There are a couple college buddies that started up a race team and out here having fun. So Colin and Austin out there running on this quarter-mile horseshoe qualifying run. We are over halfway through qualifying all of our cars.
All right, now we have the 4810 of Garrett Humson just taking the green flag.
With his buddy Seth Carpenter riding shotgun out of Lincoln, Nebraska with McGrills Racing in a custom chassis with an LS 418 stroker, Turbo 350, Atlas, Nitto, Raceline, King, Spider-Trex, and Team McGrills.
So Colin Hornick, he just came through, got the fastest lap now at a 46.674. So they're just picking up the times and they're learning from what the other drivers were doing earlier on, and they're just getting faster and faster.
That's pretty impressive. What was Paul Wolf's fast time? Do you remember that, Pam?
I do not remember that right
38 something, if I remember right.
I can find it.
That is pretty impressive. There's the 869 of Jeff Flanagan with Johnny B riding shotgun, a local out of Disney, Oklahoma with Flanagan Motorsports in a bent fab chassis, LS1, Turbo 400, Phenom T-Case, Yukon, FAO Shocks, Maxxis, Raceline, Max Motorsports, Kenny's Island Spirits, and H82 Design. This is his first official Ultra4 USA race, was Visions of this year. He actually raced Disney last year. I got to fix my notes on that one. So Jeff Flanagan, the local out of Disney, Oklahoma here. He's been working in his shop off and on all week long. We've driven by. The shop door's always open, and they're working on everything. He's been working on Johnny B's engine for his UTV, working on this race car. And Jeff Flanagan just rolls through. Get a time on him.
So Jeff Flanagan, he came through. We'll get that time in just a minute, actually.
I hear some big horsepower starting to fire up, so we should be qualifying 4400s in just a moment. But it looks like we do have a couple UTVs we're going to sprinkle in. Jason and Mitch Wofford.
So, Miles, you were asking, Paul Wolf in the UTV Open class, his fastest lap time was a 39.086. All right. We'll see if anybody will be able to beat that in these 4400 class.
That is a smoking time. I don't know. This is such a short qualifier with that turn.
That wasn't even his fastest lap time. So in the Pro Mod results, Paul Wolf's fastest lap was a 37.225.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pam, for that update. Remember, you go to live.ultra4racing.com for the same live timing we have here up in the rugged booth.
Definitely a fast time for sure. But Miles, yes, we will have two UTVs going here in just a moment. And the horsepower, if we can feel it too. It's not only hearing it, we can feel it on our stage up here.
We've got over 100 entries into this race. The 2023 Ultra4 USA Best Damn Race of the Year, presented by Rugged Race Radios. We are on the back side of the Pensacola Dam at the South Grand Lake Recreational Area, just outside of Disney and Langley, Oklahoma. A lot of beautiful things to do around here. This is the South Grand Lake. They located just outside of Tulsa, Joplin, and Rogers, Arkansas. And there's so much local tourism around here. You can go parasailing, great fishing. You got some boat rentals. You can go rafting and much, much more. And I just heard that there's a theme park coming in. American Heartland is going to be coming in hopefully in 2026 in the Veneta, Oklahoma, just about a half hour down the road. So it's really going to build the tourism here around Disney and Langley, Oklahoma.
Yes, it is. And Miles, we're here racing right now, but you can come out here, you can wreck wheel. But the big meat run event that's in March every year.
BMR, yep.
BMR, that is an amazing event. I know you probably have been to it.
I've been coming to it for a long time. But Mid-America actually revamped it a couple years ago, and we've been doing some great things. It's a free event, and the Robinettes and MAO come out here and just make it a safe event, and there's so much going on with live music, so be sure to check that out. But speaking about things that are coming up, you do not want to miss Nationals. We will be in Lake Havasu for Legends of Havasu. This is a do-not-miss event. We'll have Ultra4 USA, F1 boat racing, IPRA rodeo, the American side-by-side takeover, national music acts, sound outlaw drags. We'll have pool parties, jet ski trick shows, and so much more. That event is October 26th through the 29th, so do not miss that one. There are VIP packages available. Full event passes $13 and up are $150. Kids tickets 5 to 12 are $75. Kids 4 and under are free. And there will be some day passes announced here coming up soon. But again, if you're thinking about making a race this season, do not miss Legends of Havasu.
No, that's going to be a great event. I know you were just going through it, but I cannot wait. Have you been to Havasu?
It's been a while. I went to the Parker 425.
Okay.
I'm going to say 6-8 years ago, and we stayed in Havasu for a couple.
Racing it that year.
Probably were there, yeah. It's a beautiful area. We'll be at the Standard Wash for some great racing.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun area, beautiful water, the scenery there. I mean, we talk about sunrises and sunsets everywhere, how beautiful they are, but there's something about the sunrises and sunsets in Parker, Arizona, and the whole Lake Havasu area.
Yeah, I'll go home for about just over a week, I believe, and then regroup and head out there. And I think I'll be out there for 2 to 3 weeks.
Gotcha.
It's going to be a big, big event. I can't wait. But speaking about can't wait, I can't wait to go racing today. We've been qualifying for almost an hour and a half. We'll take a little break and be back at 11 a.m. for the race later on today. We still have qualifying yet to come, but be sure to tune in racing at 11 a.m. for the stock and the open UTV 4900 classes. So we'll have 2 races going on at the same time during that. We'll keep you honest. It's a 5-mile loop. They'll race for an hour and a half. Then the white flag comes out for our leader. And it's going to be one heck of a show.
Yes, it looks like JT Taylor's just down there trying to reset the timing loop because we, like you were saying earlier, we have it facing a different way for qualifying than we do for the races because of all of the rocks. We can't dig down into the ground like we normally do. And there's Brian Crofts right there in his newly wrapped number 9 Dixon flannel. There's his Miss Bailey Campbell right in front of him, number 35.
Got Ryan Miller riding shotgun with her. She has a very good chance at this race.
Yeah, she is. She was out here pitting last year when I was in the hot pits for Legends of the Fall, and it's good to sit there and chat with the racers out there. But yeah, this is definitely right up her alley. I believe she's going to do very well out there this weekend. So we still have those couple UTVs. They're just wanting to make sure that the timing loop is working properly.
Let's give we're going to give you the schedule of this weekend's event. Obviously, we're right in the middle of qualifying right now. Everybody's qualifying. But later on today at 11 a.m., everything is Central Time. We'll kick off the stock and the open UTVs. And then at 2 p.m., it'll be the Pro Mod only. And tonight at 5 p.m., it'll be the 4600 Spider Track stock class. And then tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. is the Ultra4 USA Youth. At 11 a.m. is the EMC classes, the 45s and the 48s. And then the main event, 2 p.m., the 4400 Unlimited class. It's going to be absolutely insane. The Unlimited class are racing 2 hours plus the white flag. So it's going to be a great, great show.
and the kids course. They always do a little bit of a revamped course. Last year, I know the kids were having a blast on it. I know you guys set that course. So, Miles, how will that be? They won't be going through the water because they're in the little 170s.
They are going to go through the start-finish, kind of around our booth, through the woods a little bit, and turn around, and it's going to be a fun little course for the 170s. They're really going to enjoy it.
And they're all very competitive. It's really awesome to see these kids out there racing against each other.
And they're racing for Western Series points as well. That's something new to the Ultra4 USA scene. While we wait to send out Mitch Wofford, let's give a huge shout-out to Speed Sport, Project X, Rugged Race Radios, AMSOIL, Good Boy Vodka, Can-Am, and Raceline Wheels.
And then Laser Nut, Mid-America Outdoors, Optima Batteries, and 360 Wraps.
The Off-Road Syndicate, American Outdoor Events, King of the Hammers, Fun Haver Off-Road, Spider Tracks, Whalen, Yukon Gear and Axle, and Brannick Motorsports. So please support who supports the sport. If you're building a race car, a mall crawler, a tow rig, go check out all these amazing marketing partners and show them the love that they show us. Hear a lot of horsepower in the background winding up, and it looks like Wofford's getting ready to check off.
Again, thank you everybody who is watching us live all over our social medias and on YouTube. And Mitch Wofford taking that green flag.
And that is baby Mitch Wofford, 253 out of Ashland City, Tennessee, with Razor Extreme in that Pro Modified class. He's in a Polaris RS1 with a turbo engine in it. Off-Road Beast, American Motorsports, RCV, C&W Pools, Raceline Wheels, Trinity Racing, Hypnic Motorsports, all things UTV, and Tire Spine. He's been racing with us for a couple years. Great to see him and his dad. His dad, Jason Wofford, is up next.
All right, he definitely has a really fast time going for him. I do not have their timing up on my screen here, so I will not be able to let you know what that is, but we know that it is being done. So he did a nice little slide there, turning right, going through the finish line.
And up next will be his dad, Jason Wofford. And then we'll kick off the 4,400 guys and gals, the biggest and baddest names in our sport. What a beautiful day it is here at the South Grand Lake Recreational Area. We are qualifying for the best damn race of the year, presented by Rugged Race Radios.
And Miles, it's warming up. The crowd's coming over here to watch this, and I can't wait till later on to see everybody over here watching the race on our Jumbotron. And the race later on, can we talk about that course for just a minute while we're kind of on a lull? So you went out, you obviously have been here, like you said, for like, what, a week and a half?
Yeah, we've been just over a week. JT and I have been out here, because first you have to think of the course.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to ride the course. Then you have to re-ride the course 20 times to figure out how to deviate some of the water, and then you have to trim some trees. You have to figure out you're going up or down obstacles, make it make sense, make it safe. There's so much that goes into it. And this course is absolutely amazing. It is 5 miles. We start right here at the Rugged Race Radio, start finish. We go down a little ways. Our first obstacle we come to is the waterfall. That will be a joker line for the open UTVs and the Pro Mods and the 45s and 48s. And the 46s as well.
Okay.
So, and then we go from there down Viagra. But here we go. Let's kick off with Jason Wofford, 430, out of Ashland City, Tennessee, with Razor Extreme in the stock class in his Polaris RS1, ORB, America's Motorsports, RCV, C&W Pools, Raceline Wheels, Trinity Racing, Hickman Motorsports, all things UTV, and Tire Spine. He got first this year in Rush, first at Visions, and he was our Eastern Series champ of this year for Ultra4 USA. So Jason Wofford will definitely be one to watch. He calls those the baby tire machine. He loves keeping those little tires on there and running with the big dogs.
I know. I was thinking about how they do out here in the rocks or whatnot, because they are the shorter wheelbase, obviously, and he does have smaller tires on there, so it's sometimes can be an advantage, but out here, climbing the rocks you can't. But look at who is on screen right there. That is Mr. Paul Wolf. He will be our first qualifier in our 4,400 class here in just a moment. I mean, he's already been out on course twice this morning, and here he is on his third run.
So
We'll see if he has that number 1 spot again, because we know he's gunning for it.
Paul Wolf, fresh off his championship. He is our Eastern Series champ. Paul Wolf in that number 1 spot. And then Philip McGilton is out here racing as well. He just got his second place in the Eastern Series champ. But Philip McGilton is leading the Western Series points. We'll see how all that shakes out. But Paul Wolf is right behind him. So if Paul Wolf has a perfect day, he could steal that Western Series champ away from McGilton. Those are our top 2 going on right now.
All right, Paul Wolf pulling up to Mr. J.T. Taylor. He'll give him that 3, 2, 1 countdown, wave the green flag, and he'll be off. I cannot wait to see how these guys are going to take these turns. We've already seen, a flop earlier on, and they're sliding a little too hard, going too fast into these corners. And there goes Paul Wolf.
And we are off. Paul Wolf, our Mid-America ambassador out of Alton, Illinois, with Wolf Racing. And that UFO single-seat Joe Thompson-built machine with IFS suspension up front. LSX 434, ATO transmission, SCST case, Nitto tires, Raceline wheels, Radflow, RCV, FK, Alltech, Brannick Motorsports, JB Scale, Project X, Optima batters, Rugged Race Radios, Warren, and Tube Works.
Okay, so before he gets around to the timing loop, I'm going to say probably about a 32-second.
That'd be smoking fast.
And off the line, we do have Mr.
Chip McLaughlin with Brad riding shotgun out of Corinth, Texas, with Rufus Racing in a Tribe 16 2C IFS. Irene with a Thompson Motorsports 440 with 800 horsepower. A Turbo 400 Atlas, Spider Tracks, Vision Wheels, Maxxis, Eco Earthworks, Eco Staff, Baja Design, Nightsticks, HP Tuners, and Johnny's Customs. He's been racing with Ultra4 for quite a while. Great to see Chip out there.
And look, Miles, he didn't find any trees.
Oh, he will later. That was just a quarter-mile run. He's got 5 more miles to make it.
Exactly, but next up will be the 78 of Pip Justice, all the way from Australia. We'll get the timing and scoring updated here in just a moment.
You can go to live.ultra4racing.com for the same timing we have here in the Rugged Race Radios booth. A lot of chatter through the Rugged Race Radios right now, making sure everything's going smooth.
And right there walking, that is Jason. He lives here, Jason McMurray. Awesome, out here helping you guys out all week long. He's out here helping.
Yeah. He's been out here, been a huge help. He knows a little bit of everybody out here. He's helped a lot of racers find parts. He's helped us on course. He's he helped me cut a lot of trees down out here. And here is the updated timing. Paul Wolf with a 35.709.
Man, I said 32. I mean, I wasn't too far off.
You're really close. Paul Wolf, that 35. So he shaved 2 seconds off his UTV run in that 4400. What is a 4400? That is unlimited racing, unlimited suspension, unlimited tires, unlimited horsepower. It is Ultra4 USA at its finest. And we are getting this party started. This is qualifying for the 4400 unlimited class.
All right, Pip Justice getting ready to take that green flag.
He's got Diamond Dave riding shotgun out of Australia with Rufus Racing and that Tribe 16 solid axle machine called Donkey with an LS3 Gearworks Turbo 400, Maxxis, Vision, Eco Staff, Nightsticks, Baja Design, HP Tuners, Eco Earthworks, Thompson Motorsports, Johnny Customs. His first Ultra4 USA race was King of the Hammers 2019, part of Rufus Racing out here having some fun.
And he is splashing his way through those water holes, and he is definitely not letting up. But we do have next off the line will be the 4423 of Frank Vonderheide.
With Drew Davis riding shotgun out of Scranton, Arkansas with STT Racing and that Jimmy's 4x4 chassis with a Rogers Race Engine LS441, Turbo 400, Hero T-Case, Brannick, Daddy's Big Block. Come get you some. Scranton Truck and Trailer, Maxima Oils, Nailed Feed and Supply, Johnson Law, Miller XC, Meekum Alternators, and Rugged Race Radios. He was the 2021 Eastern Series champ.
All right, Miles, we have Paul Wolf sitting in that number 1 spot at a 35.709. Pip Justice is in the number 2 spot with a 39.531. Chip McLaughlin at a 141.505. And we just now had the 47 of Philip McGilton taking the green flag.
Our Western Series points leader with Dr. Amanda Ross riding shotgun out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama with 47 Motorsports. He's raced every single race this season with Ultra4 USA and that Jimmy's 4x4 chassis. Straight axle machine, Schofield Performance LSX 454, Maximum Turbo 400, Hero TK, Southern Tire Mart, at Pilot and Flying J, BFG, Vivid Lumen Lights, and Radflow.
And it looks like he has a front flat going down, which is very unfortunate if he does. And that is the 48-44 of Dana Hell.
Pinball himself with Peanut riding shotgun out of Weatherford, Texas, making his 4400 debut here with Ultra4 USA with Team Hale in that Pinhall IFS chassis, LS7 441, 4L80E transmission, Atlas transfer case, Rufus Racing. This is Ben Napier's old car that he just bought from Brent Harrell. His first Ultra4 USA was AOP 2021.
All right, so Philip McGilton just now came through. He is at the number 3 spot with a 39.634, but he has his both front and rear passenger side tires are flat.
This course is tough. There's a ledge out there at the back side of the horseshoe that's really going to take its toll on some things. So there's KT with Heath Day riding shotgun out of Texarkana, Texas with .1 Racing in that Dazed Fabrication Porsche-themed Bouncer Ultra4 car. AMS Racing LS3 416, Fritz 4L80E, SCST case, 14 bolts front and rear, ORI struts, Brannick D-Bomb tuning, ball joint eliminators, Jensen Brothers Off-Road, and Radial Dynamics. His first Ultra4 USA race was AOP back in 2020.
All right, and taking the green flag is the 187 of Kenneth Hale.
Another Ultra4 USA 4400 debut, I believe, with Donnie Kellenbach riding shotgun out of Conroe, Texas, with Team 187 and that TMR solid axle machine, Texas Speed LQ4 Turbo 400, 14 bolts, Radflow, Nitto, Trail Ready, Howe, Vision X, PCI, Stage 8 fasteners, and Warn. Ken's been racing with us in the stock 4600 Spider Track stock class for a while in that old Bronco, if you remember right.
Yes.
So stepping up to 4400s, pretty cool.
Yes, and we do have the 1505 coming up next of Tim Hooper.
So Paul Wolf sitting in that pole position, holding on to those 7 points. We'll see if his time of 35.709 sticks. As Tim Hooper hoop himself with Daniel Parker riding shotgun out of Bentonville, Arkansas with Fuel Works Racing. He's in a Trent Fab top shelf solid axle machine with a Thompson Motorsports LS427, A&J Super 80 transmission, Fuel Works, Nitto, Method, Brannick, four-wheel concepts, Sureway Transport, Old Town Auto Body, Arco Excavation, Brothers Concrete, Baja Designs, and Switch Pros. He's been racing with us for a very long time, since
And
King of the Hammers in 09. But
Tim Hooper is off, not even moving right now. Did not quite see what happened, but he is stopped.
So did he slide off that ledge again, I believe, and maybe sucked a little water. I hope that car's okay.
But he is right there with our recovery, so
See
it's
a
a
little
good spot
steam
to
coming
be.
off, splashing through the water. It's getting really slick out there, so you got to take that corner extra careful.
And he was having some issues in pre-running yesterday and had to do some fixing on his car, but here he is out here qualifying. But now, obviously, he's not moving right at this moment.
Yeah, he had a rear end issue. He had a cracked gear or something, had to get it all fixed up. So great to see him out here. Hopefully, this isn't the end of his show. We are qualifying for the best damn race of the year, presented by Rugged Race Radios. We'll be live racing with the stock and the open UTVs at 11 a.m. Central Time. We're about halfway through the 4400. We've got 17 4400 unlimited cars that'll be taking the green flag, as long as everybody's car is still healthy.
As long as they don't take in too much water.
These guys and gals are the biggest and baddest names of our sport. We've got a stacked field out here. A great showing.
Yes, we do. Paul Wolf still sitting in that number 1 spot with a 35.709. We still have some heavy hitters that are waiting back here in line for their green flag as well. But we do have to make sure the course is all clear. That's a bummer for Tim Hooper. So hopefully whatever it is, he will be able to get moving again and come out and race. At least we're not racing till tomorrow, so hopefully he can get it all fixed up.
Yeah, we saw it. It was moving under its own power, so he is moving. So we'll get the course cleared here shortly.
But we do have Kenneth Goodall in the 7779 waiting at the start line very patiently to take that green flag.
These cars are the Swiss Army knife of off-road. They race at King of the Hammers up at Crandon for the biggest short course at Mid-America Outdoors in Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Kentucky, Lake Havasu. We go over huge rocks, mountains, short course, jumps, tight trees, mud, dust, desert, whoops. These cars can do it all and do it all well. USAC is on site, helping everything run smooth as we see Ken Goodall and Todd Miller taking off out of Phoenix, Arizona with Goodall Racing. He's in a Jimmy's 2C IFS machine with a Klein LS7, Zero Gravity Turbo 400, SCST case, Dirty Life wheels, Milestar, Warn, Turco, Maxima, Willwood, SRP, and Baja Designs. His first Ultra4 USA race was Nationals back in 2011.
And he almost took that turn just a little too wide. Actually ended up on our little candlestick cone out there, but he did not, which was good. He was able to save it.
Great to see him out here racing. He took a little bit of a break with us, but he's out here back in full force and having some fun. So Ken Goodall really laying it down, trying to chase down Paul Wolf's time of a 35.709.
That's going to definitely be a tough time to beat because Paul Wolf has been out on that course already, like we've said earlier, 2 times. But he did come through just now in the 6th position with a 1:45.900.
So we keep talking about IFS and solid axle. What exactly does that mean? IFS, independent front suspension. So, it's got A-arms up front. A solid axle is kind of in your standard Jeep or your old school pickup where it's a solid axle. So if the left goes up, the right goes down. Mm-hmm. But on IFS, if the left goes up, the right side can do whatever it wants. So on rock crawling, it's a debate.
Right.
Lots of people say the straight axle is better, but the IFS came a long, long ways. But it's just really cool to see the difference between the IFS and the straight axle.
All right, taking the green flag is the 5.53 of Daryl Kreisbach.
With Jay Schlarman riding shotgun out of Waterloo, Iowa, with Full Moon Motorsports with a Super 5 solid axle chassis, LS3, Maximum Turbo 400, Atlas, Spider Tracks, BFG, Trail Ready, and Fox. He's been racing with us here at Ultra4 USA since 2015. Takes that inside line on this quarter-mile qualifier, getting everything lined up for today and tomorrow's races. The 4,400 main event will be tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Central Time. But we'll be live racing till tonight at roughly 7 p.m. So we'll be live for almost 12 hours a day, Pam.
Yes, it's going to be a great day. It's already been an amazing day, but right now we do have the number 81 of Levi Shirley taking the green flag.
And that single-seat car out of Dodge City, Kansas with Lucky Dog Racing and Levi Shirley Racing in that single-seat Campbell IFS chassis, LSX 454, 6L80E, Hero T-Case, Yokohama, King, Spider Tracks, Zero Gravity, Dynamic Motorsports, Baja Designs, Switch Pros, JE Reel, PRP, Rugged, ARB, Maxima, KDM Shock Technology, Gigglepin, Brannick, and Nemesis. Levi was the Sportsman of the Year back in 2011 and 2014. He's got an Ultra4 Europe Championship under his belt as well.
All right, Levi Shirley is getting ready to come through for his timing loop, but while he was on the backstretch, we did have Miss Bailey Campbell in the number 35 take the green flag.
She is another Mid-America Outdoor Ambassador with Ryan Miller riding shotgun out of Gilbert, Arizona with Campbell Racing and a 2C IFS Campbell Enterprise machine with a proper tuning Klein LS 490, Hughes Turbo 400, Hero T-Case, Monster Energy, Nitto, Fox, Warn Factor 55, ARB, Baja Designs, Motive Gear, Ron Davis, Hughes Performance, AZ Drive Fast.
All right, and taking off the line is the number 9 of Brian Crofts.
Out of Queen Creek, Arizona with CB Motorsports with a 4th Gen Campbell chassis, single seat IFS machine with a proper tuning Klein LS 490. Hughes Turbo 400, Hero T-Case, Dixon Flannel, Nitto, FK, and Ward. Pam, let's update some timing.
Yes, let's do that for sure. We see Bailey coming off from her timing. She just now came in that number 5 spot at a 41.336. Sitting in the 4th position right now is Levi Shirley in the number 81. That 3rd position is Philip McGilton in the number 47. The 78 of Pip Justice in that 2nd position. In the number 1 spot, Mr. Paul Wolf in the number 1018.
And taking off the line right now is the number 401 of Brent Moffitt with his brother Corey riding shotgun out of Keota, Oklahoma with Catch This Racing and a Jimmy's solid axle machine with a Show Me Speed Supercharged LS3, Turbo 400, Hero T-Case, Brannick, Raceline, Mickey Thompson, and Indian Territory Stone. His first Ultra 4 race was Crandon last year, and he was a King of the Hammers rookie this year. And a cool story with that car, he had to overnight a radiator to the local bar of Mooney's. Got that last night, put it in, and he's out here racing with us.
Wow. And here we have a very unique-looking 4400, the 199, taking off the line of Brendan Jones.
Out of Arkansas City, Kansas, with Jones Towing in a Blue Torch Fab. This has been an Ultra 4 car. It's been a rock bouncer. It's done a little bit of everything. This car's been around for a long time, but he is making his Ultra 4 USA debut here for the Best Damn Race of the Year, presented by Rugged Race Radios.
All right, we look like we only have one car that will be taking off here in just a moment to the last one of the day, the number 3 of Wayland Campbell.
But out on track is Mr. Brendan Jones. Still making his way. Had a little bit of hiccup, but was able to get back on the throttle. And off the line now is Wayman Wayland Campbell, number 3 out of Gilbert, Arizona, with Campbell Racing and a Campbell Enterprise single-seat IFS machine with a proper tuning Klein LS 490, Hughes Turbo 400, trailer-worthy Hero case, Monster Energy, Nitto Tire, Fox, Warn, ARB, Ron Davis Radiators, Hughes Performance, AC Drive Shaft, Impact Racing, Rugged Radios, Howe Performance, and Justice Bros. He was the Dirt Sports Rookie of the Year and the Off-Road Hall of Fame Rising Star and Impact Award. He's got multiple wins along the way, and he had this race won last year until he didn't.
Yeah.
If you remember, he bypassed the Amsoil hot pits with a flat tire, and that cost him the race.
Yes, and he
And look at that, Pam.
Yes, he just now took over the number 2 spot from Pip Justice with a 39.121. So, Miles, let's just go through our top 5 here. We do have Paul Wolf sitting in the number 1 spot, Wayland Campbell in second,
And
Pip Justice in third.
And fourth is Philip McGilton. And fifth, Levi Shirley. And sixth, Bailey Campbell. And seventh, Chip McLaughlin.
In 8th position, Frank Vonderheide. 9th, Brent Moffitt. In the 10th position, Brian Crofts.
And 11th, Ken Goodall. Then 12th, Dana Hale. And 13th, Kevin Taylor. And 14th, Kenneth Hale. 15th, Brendan Johnson.
And in that 16th position, Tim Hooper. And then we do not have a time quite yet for Daryl Krisbach.
So a great showing from all of our racers today. Just over 100 racers just qualified for the 2023 Ultra 4 USA Best Damn Race of the Year, presented by Rugged Race Radios. It was great qualifying today. So much fun. But we do have a race here in a little bit going on. So be sure to tune in at probably about 10:50 a.m. So in about 1 hour, tune back in. We'll do the UTVs, the stock and the open will take off first on this 5-mile course. It's going to be amazing, Pam.
It's going to be a great day once we get going again here. And that awesome view right there that we'll see the drivers going through here in just a little bit. But Miles, we're going to go grab ourselves a bite to eat because we have a long day ahead of us.
It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a great day. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in for qualifying for the Ultra 4 USA Best Damn Race of the Year, presented by Rugged Ratios. We just wiped up qualifying, so we will see you in 1 hour. Again, 10:50 a.m. Central Time. We're going to take a quick break. We will see you on the other side.